playoff basketball fans. We are back with another Zero Gravity, presented by Apollo Media. It's Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. Go check them out if you're in the Houston area today, and go check out Prize Picks. If you're in a daily fantasy, go check out our daily fantasy sponsor, Prize Picks, and use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched with your first deposit. It's prime time for Prize Picks right now with the NBA and the NHL playoffs, along with the MLB season in full swing. But we're here to talk about the NBA playoffs. I'm joined always by Josh Garcia, the What We Learn Houston Rockets edition king. How we doing?
Beautiful. I can't wait to get into this Mavs talk. Anthony Edwards might be the most fun player watching the NBA. The Wolves are back. Streets are saying. We're here. Like, we're in the middle of it now. Let's fucking talk about it. Let's do it.
We'll go ahead and so we're recording this Sunday, April 21st at 5:26 p.m. Central Standard God time zone. So we're not going to talk about Pacers Bucks. That's about to start here in about 30 minutes. And also the Pelicans and Thunder game ones that are about to happen. But it is what it is. We're recording a little bit earlier than we normally do. But playoff basketball, we're back. Game ones have pretty much all concluded except for the two that we just mentioned. We just watched the Los Angeles Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Do you want to start with that?
Just give me a quick minute, and we'll get your knee-jerk reaction. My knee-jerk reaction is James Harden is doing what he has always done in the postseason and play hard and get any foul call he can, drop a cool 25-27 on somewhat efficient shooting numbers, and lead his team to victory. So happy we got to witness that. I can speak for all of Houston, actually. We are Houston James Harden fans. I love the Clippers. I love the way that they're rocking. No Kawhi, they still beat the shit out of the Mavericks. I mean, competitive second half. If the Mavericks score 67 points in both halves of basketball, you're gonna win every game every time. But that 30-point stinker, it was like 2003 Detroit Pistons versus like the New Jersey Nets on like a Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Just an absolute stinker all around. But talk to me. What are your thoughts? What are you feeling?
So the Mavs shot 24% in the first half. That won't happen again. That's just not going to happen again. It looked like they haven't played basketball for a week and a half. They have not played basketball for a week and a half. Legitimately, they just haven't played live basketball for a week and a half. The important players, Luka, Kyrie, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford played like the first quarter and the second to last game of the season, along with Derrick Jones Jr. And Dante Exum. Tim Hardaway Jr. is the only like rotation player that played. Josh Green didn't play until the fourth quarter, and as soon as he came in, things started going well, and Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't in the rotation at that point, and Josh Green was. Things started going better. It's magical when you have a defender out there that is fast and can lead a fast break. Daniel Gafford just immediately was a non-impact from like quarter one. Luka and Kyrie couldn't make a shot in the first two quarters. They scored 8 points in the second quarter. It's not going to happen again. James Harden and Paul George made incredible shots on great defense. Like, for the most part, their shots were completely contested and incredibly hard, and they just made their shots. They shot like 54 or 52% or something from three today. That could happen again. I'm not going to say that won't happen again, but the Mavs aren't going to shoot 24% and a half again. That's just not going to happen. And James Harden was going to have at least one or two games every series, like he does. Like, he always has those two games where you look at James Harden, you're like, wow, he's one of the top 15 best players in the league. This is the reason the Clippers traded for him, yada, yada, yada. And then he'll have two games to do the exact opposite of that in the playoffs. And he's just, that's what he does. And I could be wrong, and maybe James Harden not being the number one guy on a team or number two guy on a team is what's going to help propel the Clippers. I could be wrong. I don't know. He had a great game. Paul George had a great game. Clippers had a great game plan in the first half, and the Mavs didn't make shots. So it is what it is. 109-97. It's a 12-point loss when they were down 29 at one point. So it is what it is. It's game one. It's an afternoon and Sunday where you're in LA. Let's see what happens Tuesday. It's a night game in LA. See what happens.
Yep. Keep pushing through, and I mean, who knows? The Mavs could still easily steal this in 6 and run off to the semis and hopefully get a great matchup from there. But I'm just imagining myself, let's say 2-3 weeks down the line in the future, and I'm really thinking that Luka is just going to give a solid 4 wild ass games. Like, even though he didn't play amazing today for Luka standards, it was a Luka stinker. I think he still had 33 on like 45% shooting or 50.
Started going to the free throw line every possession. It was incredible because they were correct calls, and Zubac threw his third elbow of the game and finally got a tech and a flagrant on the same play on Kleber.
Yep.
He literally threw 3 elbows this entire game, all on Kleber and 1 on Luka. So he threw 2 on Kleber, 1 on Luka, and he only got 1 of them called for a flagrant or a tech or a foul in general. Like, playoff basketball.
Zubac is truly he is truly a top 5 center when he has a great team around him, and I love how underrated he's been. He's just a big motherfucker. I'm trying to compare what he could be like, or like his play style. He's like a more cohesive, less criminal Timofey Mozgov. And by criminal, of course, I mean him stealing money from LA.
He played like prime Shaq without the athleticism in the first half, so everyone was firing on all cylinders for the Clippers.
He's so fun.
It is what it is.
Hell
they
yeah.
lost. Clippers got the game 1. I said today in the car this morning, I was just talking to myself. I was like, it feels like a LeBron versus the Thunder finals 2012. Like, they just lose game 1. Like, what happened? And then they just sweep the rest. It's a gentleman sweep. That's what I feel. I still feel it. Anyway,
manifesting.
Let's move to another really fun game. Well, it was a fun game. It wasn't a close game. We'll put it that way. The Minnesota Timberwolves 120, the Phoenix Suns 95. It's an afternoon game yet. Yeah, was it the 5 o'clock game or was it a 2:30 game?
I think it was the second game down,
right,
so
2:30 game. So I watched all of these games. I had it on my laptop all day. It was incredible, just back to back. I never had to change the channel and just went straight through. It was incredible.
Awesome.
But Anthony Edwards, welcome to the playoffs, big guy. Welcome to the real deal. Barking at KD. Just calling him old, and he's washed, and he's here, and just yelling at people after making shots, going down the floor. Anthony Edwards, welcome to like the deepest and most dearest part of my heart. I love you, Anthony Edwards. Thank you for that. Thank you for that memory.
He's so awesome. Truly one of the most fun players in the league. The Funny Marco interview where it's just really awkward between them in the wing shop. Awesome stuff. Truly, like, seriously, someone who's especially, I think he's about a year older than me or less. So maybe I just feel some extra kind of way about it because, you know, we grew up together, but we didn't grow up together. You know what I mean? And I was gonna say even my dad, a little tangent, even my dad who loved like Ken Caminiti and like a bunch of other Astros players from that era, he would just die for anyone. And I'm starting to feel the same way about Anthony Edwards. Every time I see the man play, he's just talking shit. And if you remember, I think everyone was telling him to go play football.
No.
That was 5 years ago at this point. Oh my God.
Anthony Edwards wanted to go play football at Georgia. Georgia wouldn't take him, so he went and played basketball. He's a South Georgia boy. And then in the draft, everyone's like, oh, he won't be the number 1 pick because he just does not like basketball. He doesn't like this sport of basketball. He just doesn't like to play it. And then all of a sudden we see that yesterday, goes off for 30 plus, barking at arguably a top 12 basketball player of all time, maybe top 10. Like, KD's incredible. And he's just barking at him. We got another Devin Booker stinker. And someone tweeted out the meme that I was ready to tweet out, so I couldn't do it. But it went viral, and I was like, can't just tweet that.
Could have been you, buddy. You got 5 more chances.
I had to do 5. Yeah, I just do it next game. It'll be fine. It'll happen again. But yeah, the Suns they dominated the Wolves in the season. I think they were 3-1 against them, or 3-0 against the Wolves, and everyone's like, ooh, the Suns. And I think the Suns were favored. They were like a -140 favorite that Shams tweeted out against the Wolves for the series.
Wow.
And obviously it's game one overreactions, yada, yada, yada. Anthony Edwards looked awesome. Rudy Gobert looked awesome, honestly. And Karl-Anthony Towns was still getting into the swing of things, and he looked good. Like, he looked good on offense. He didn't look like he was out of place, per se. So, yeah, the Wolves dominated. It was awesome. It was fun.
The cat being in this playoff scenario, what it feels like we've never seen it happen, but I know he's been in the league for almost 10 years. Hey, remember how I said Brandon Ingram has been up next since the Obama administration? Karl-Anthony Towns been up next since the Obama administration. It's been a long road. long road for the guy. But I'm really glad that he actually has a cohesive team around him. I mean, even Nikhil Alexander-Walker, fucking Jaden McDaniels, like the squad is really fun to watch. And it's like peak depth ball. Like there's 10 guys
All
on that
90.
team that is just that can guard everyone, play a cohesive set of basketball, and it's really fun. I don't want to say that the Wolves are my favorites to go to like the conference final or to go to the finals or anything like that, because of course the West runs through Denver as for right
For
now.
sure.
But they're definitely becoming one of my more favorite teams out of the field. And I told you off camera, your Mavs are my number two. But that's strictly just because eventually I want to see Luka Doncic be in an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And I even told you a couple weeks ago, if Luka doesn't get to an NBA Finals or win an NBA Finals by like let's say year 10, there's going to have to be some conversations because he's just too good. And a lot of it isn't even his fault, really.
Yeah.
He's just too good to not win something.
Yeah. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be in that realm here in the next year or two. Like we talked about it
Yes.
at the beginning of the season. We're like, he's going to be the face of the league. He's the guy. He's the one that everyone like. When we think the NBA, we're going to think Anthony Edwards once LeBron James and Steph Curry are gone. Like we might get there. And then we had a little incident. Send a video. Yeah, but
a couple incidents.
A few. Yeah. And someone tweeted out like, "This is your favorite NBA player," and it was like him. It was a little homophobic. The Instagram story that he put out, and that's just South Georgia for you.
No.
I don't know what to tell you.
TU
Basketball court. Let's put it that way. Everything else about him, maybe not. He's funny. He's just a little insensitive. Maybe a bad person. I don't know.
Not good stuff. Maybe not the greatest human, but a really fun basketball player and someone who, I wouldn't strive to be necessarily on a human level, but on a basketball level.
Absolutely. Give me that dunk.
I just want to dunk a basketball one time, man. I'm in my athletic prime. I'm 22. I'm 6'1". Like, what's stopping me? Eventually, if I just keep working at it, it'll happen.
Hey, I did it one time. Anyone can do it. Another fun game for me, the Knicks-Sixers game. I think you missed this game, but Knicks 111, yes. Sixers 104. It's kind of a bloodbath. Neither team looked like especially good. Joel Embiid was fine. Tyrese Maxey was, I think, decent. Like, Jalen Brunson kind of had a stinker. I think he had 22 points on like 22 or 23 shots. Like, not really what you want to see from your number one guy, but the Garden prevailed. Joel Embiid did get hurt at the end of like the half on a just incredible putback dunk, and it looked like he just tore his knee some more. It's just not stable, and it was bleeding through his tights in the second half. You could see it. So that's just a stitch or a scar that opened up, whatever. But he played in the second half, and he looked good in the second half. So that's encouraging. But Knicks take game one in the Garden, 111-104 against the Sixers. It was a fun game. It was a real fun game.
Yeah. The best, probably, I'd almost argue the early contender for the best picture, the best meme, anything in the playoffs was the corporate company worker just coming straight to from the office to the game, bought the jersey at the game, had a collared shirt on under the basketball jersey. It was truly sick. It's like a YMCA rec league situation. When you got a funeral at 6 p.m. but a rec league game at 8 p.m. kind of vibe, and just seeing that happen was awesome.
Gets angry that you don't put the shirts on that they provide in the seats for you to match the color. Like if you're wearing black and it's a white out, and they're like, "Oh, you got to put the white shirt on," and they're like, "It's an XXL."
Yeah, the T-Wolves did that, and it was awesome.
Well, I'm not 6'4". I can't wear a double XL. Stop putting double XLs in the seats. Like the Mavs shirt that I got it game 81. It's an XL. I'm like, I can't fit into an XL. Can we have a size chart? Can we like?
Yeah, like just take your size.
Change. Yeah. Like, can I bring it to someone during halftime and be like, I need a large or a medium? I can't wear an XL. Yeah. So that's what it looked like, though. It was very funny. Fun game. I expect more out of Brunson next game, though. I think he's going to go bananas. They were double teaming him and locking him up. They were playing it as tight defense as you could on Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart was all over the place. He's going to have a 20 rebound game at some point during the playoffs, and everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yes.
How did this happen? DiVincenzo didn't have a great game. Didn't really notice him all too much, but he's going to have a game where he hits 5, 6, 7, 8 threes. Like, the Knicks are going to go off at some point, and they kind of stole the game. The Sixers were hanging around the whole time, and the Knicks were just a little too tough in the end. It was a fun game, though. I enjoyed that one.
Yep. Other than the tweets and the just overall feelings that I was getting from the game, I really appreciate your synopsis there, because that was one of the games that I missed, and I really was angry at myself because I wanted to feel the Garden in the postseason. I made that mistake, and I promise you, I promise the viewers, I promise myself that I will never make that happen
Spike
again.
Lee just throw in the ball goes that way after a turnover in one of the Sixers. I can't remember if it was Tyrese Maxey or somebody else, but the guy was like, no, it went off him, and the ref goes this way, and Spike Lee just goes right in his face, right on
real life possession arrow, baby. Love
awesome.
it.
You got to see that on YouTube at Apollo HO. You hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Yeah, that was a good one. I don't really want to talk about Cavs and Magic. We'll leave that for later. Nuggets and Lakers. Let's talk about them.
Yes,
do that
yes.
one. Nuggets 114, Lakers 103. So Nuggets take game one at home in Denver, as pretty much everyone thought was going to happen. I will say late in the third quarter, it was back and forth, kind of like tie game, up to, down to, up to, down to, tie game, like back and forth. And then like late in the third quarter, the Nuggets started to build a little bit of a lead, and it just was kind of over in the fourth quarter. Jokic just decided, that's enough. I'm done toying around. Like, LeBron only had 2 points in the fourth quarter, I think. Anthony Davis had like a 30 and 13 game or something like that, like a good game overall. And then when you watch the game, it's like, did Anthony Davis play? It was the weirdest 30 bomb. It was the weirdest 30 bomb. Like, I'm telling you, he was there, I think. But as everyone thought, the Nuggets took game one. It was tough for about 3 quarters.
Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, Nikola Jokic just loves to toy with people, keep them around a little bit, and maybe if the Rockets snuck in a play-in situation, maybe we could give them a run for their money, because I think we're 3-1 against them this season. I'm just saying. But I would like to just give a quick anecdote, for Orlando Magic viewing. I did predict verbally and visually on this podcast that Paolo Banchero would go out and drop 24, 7, and 7. I would just like to say
he did
that yesterday he dropped 24, 7, and 5. Very close. Sometimes when you know ball, things just happen in your brain. And I'm glad that I got to witness the prophecy, the Joshua prophecy, come true. That's all. That's enough Cavs Magic talk anyway.
Yeah, Cavs won 97-83. It was the worst
there it
game
is.
I've seen. It was the first game of the playoffs, and they were like, let's just go ahead and get this over with. Noon on a Saturday. Who watched? I did. I tuned in for a lot of it. I did laundry during it.
Me too.
You catch my drift. I didn't really watch it. I was just folding laundry the whole time. But,
there it is.
Nuggets Lakers, though, was entertaining for about 3 quarters, and then I had it on in the fourth quarter, but kind of tailed off, got in bed, just having a good time, ready to get some Z's, got to close the laptop a little bit early. I was like, yeah, this is over. I'm good. I don't need to watch LeBron hit my more than on Prize Picks, so I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't think I need to watch the rest of this, and I was right.
Great.
They won. they won by 11. So.
Lit masterclass, you texted me, and immediately I ended up just getting home. I was doing something. I came back and I was like, I know I'm missing something. What's going on? And finally, about 2 minutes after I thought that, you texted me the words LeBron masterclass. And I was just beside myself. And then I tuned in for the second half, and it was just a stinker in the second half. But that's okay.
He looked
hopefully
like he was kind of dominating, whatever he wanted, getting wherever he wanted on the court. Talk about a disaster class, though. D'Angelo Russell, how many shots did you take and how many did you make? Because we might be looking at the Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler, NBA Centel.
I was just going to say.
It was a stinker. He stayed after and shot shots in his full uniform after the press conference and was back on the court shooting shots. So maybe that works for him. Maybe it doesn't.
Sure. Hopefully. Yeah. Basketball, man. It's a rough game. Speaking of rough games, I've been playing EA Sports PGA Tour, and let me tell you, you thought golf was unforgiving in real life? Those greens are fast as shit.
So you play the EA Sports, not 2K?
Yes, I play it because it's free on Game Pass.
I don't have Game Pass. Okay.
What are you? Do we have any thoughts about this here? Do you play 2K? What's that? What's the situation?
I did 2K because Tiger's a 2K guy, so I don't.
Oh,
yeah, Tiger's on the 2K cover. He's a partner with 2K.
I missed that.
As a child from I was born in 1996. That started watching golf solely because of Tiger. Yeah, I'm gonna ride with my guy Tiger. That's what it is. It is what it is. Even if I can't play
There it is.
But someone like they go in online and literally create all the courses that you can't play on 2K and name it like Augusta National. So you can go play the Masters without like the full Masters logo and the drive up and all that kind of stuff. Like you get to play the Masters course on 2K. It's just not the match.
Interesting. Good to know. If I can catch it on a discount, I'm talking $10, $15 or less. I'll give you a little book report.
I will say 2K. It took them like 2.5, 3 years to get the next iteration of the game out. Like they had 2K20.
I prefer that
20 or 2K21.
Yeah,
and then they didn't wait until 2K23. I think it was the last one that came out. And they haven't had another one, so it is.
Yeah. Well, what UFC is doing is cool. The like every 2 years, I think they do it or something like that.
That's not bad. Which with golf, it doesn't change. I mean, with all the sports games, nothing changes. It really, it's just
roster updates,
draft class. So if we did it every 2 years and got like a massive change, EA Sports, if you fuck up this NCAA game this summer, it's going to be hell to pay. I'm just saying.
Raw.
It's going to be hell to pay. I've been waiting over a decade. I graduated high school, and I haven't been able to play it since. I just haven't had another game. It's brutal.
Damn.
Yeah. Welcome back, EA Sports NCAA college football. If you suck, I'm going to be so mad. Last game to mention, because we aren't going to talk about Cavs and Magic because it was a disaster. Celtics 114, Heat 94. Celtics just scored the first 12 points of the game. Immediately, Porzingis is hitting every shot that he's throwing up. Sam Hauser, I think, was hitting just whatever he wanted. They just kind of did literally whatever they wanted. Bam Adebayo was getting whatever he wanted, but other than that, no one on the Heat could do anything. Tyler Hero, are we talking about a Ewing theory here? Like, are they better without Tyler Hero? I mean, they went to the finals last year. They don't look –
I love it.
Duncan Robinson was making threes, I guess.
Sure. $100 million man.
Jaime was there. Jimmy Butler obviously hurt. Although it's very funny because I think the Celtics intentionally injure people. Like when I watch games, they're intentionally like diving at people's legs or hitting people on the chest with their elbows. Like not clean basketball. I know the Heat do this as well. So it's funny when the Heat do it to the Celtics, and Celtics fans are like, classic Heat culture here. But that collision at the end of the game where Jason Tatum falls to the ground on his, essentially his tailbone and looks like he almost concusses himself. Luckily, he caught his head before it hit the ground. I'm not going to say I laughed, but I laughed because that's so Heat. It's just very Heat. I'm like, yeah, that makes that. I'm glad Jason Tatum's okay, and he's not brutally hurt.
Right.
I don't want that to happen, but I think it's very funny that the Heat just do this, and everyone's like, "Yeah, that's just the Miami Heat." Yeah, they got killed.
Absolutely,
I don't think they have a chance in this series anymore. I thought it was no shot. God. We got 3 more.
It's
that's over.
Man, this is going to be probably I'd almost argue the only sweep in the entire postseason out of the first 8 series. But the greatest thing that I've noticed from this entire Celtics day today, I guess, because I've been ingesting a lot of Celtics content on Twitter for whatever reason. Jason Tatum still had a -1 in the plus minus, and I just think that's a perfect encapsulation of what Jason Tatum is as a player. When he is on, he is on, but the value sometimes isn't there. But also, you could look at it on the other hand as, plus minus is just an awful stat, because I completely agree. It's a terrible stat. They won by 20, and Jason Tatum got a triple-double. I think he scored 20 points. But when his shots were going in, they were going in. But it was just so funny to see that, the -1, after seeing, I think Derek White was like plus 18, Brown was like plus 13. Like, the boys were hooping, but, apparently according to the plus-minus formula, Jason Tatum did not fit any of those criteria.
Yeah, I was going to tweet something about it, but I was like, all right, let's see how Luka does today, how the Mavericks play today. I decided to refrain from tweeting out that image of the -1 plus minus from Jason Tatum. My least favorite player of all time. Legitimately. Like, every time I see him, I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't ever like you. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, whatever.
No aura, no swag.
Nothing. He just like it was nothing at Duke. I was like, man, you wear 0 at Duke. Like you should be really cool, and you're not. You're just not. I like his kid though, Deuce. He's a cute kid.
Yeah, Deuce. The video of Draymond just like completely like throwing his kid around like upside down, hanging him upside down. Like, what are we
Normal
doing?
kid stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, and then so Pacers Bucks is about to tip off. No Giannis. They don't play defense, and Indiana's offense is a whirlpool of pick and roll and screens and running and backdoor cuts and just the exact opposite of what the Bucks need in this series. And I'm very excited for Rick Carlisle. He's going to have a blast in this series. I think
Yeah, this should be
I
great.
think the Pacers take game 1.
Yeah, Pacers here. It all depends on Giannis because if they can steal, it would be Milwaukee. Yeah, they're playing the first 2 in Milwaukee, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if they can steal one in Milwaukee, come back with Giannis, take 1, 2 at home out of 3. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. But as for right now, game 1, I'm feeling Indiana, especially no Giannis. Tyrese in the playoffs. I'm rubbing my fingers like Birdman. This is gonna be great.
Time.
I can't wait.
Same time, the battery ran out of the clock this season. It doesn't work. It doesn't tick anymore. You can't wind it. The components aren't working anymore. The watch just doesn't work. The second hand just ticks into the same second every time you see it, and it just moves right back into the same second every single time. It's the same time.
Damian Lillard, Damian G-Shock Lillard.
Yeah, the G-Shock ran out of batteries, and now you have to send it to G-Shock, but G-Shock won't refill your battery.
There you go.
I don't have any trust in the Bucks, especially with no Giannis, and I didn't really have a whole lot with Giannis because he's the only athletic player and the only person that plays defense on that team now. Not a recipe for success when the Indiana Pacers are like, we don't play defense, but buddy, we play offense like really, really well. So I think that's gonna be a fun game for me to watch. I'm about to tune into it right after we wrap up here, and then we got Pelicans and Thunder. 1-8 series in the West. I think that's a more interesting series than what we thought we were going to get before the play-in, because the Pelicans, obviously, they won the play-in without Zion. I don't know when we're getting Zion back. If we can get Zion back sometime this series, like a relatively healthy, where we get 25 to 30 minutes out of him, Thunder, boys,
one hand up.
Maybe that's a 7-game series if we get Zion at some point. Maybe not. I could be just overhyping the Pelicans. Brandon Ingram came back and looked great. Yeah, the Pelicans, they're an interesting team because if Brandon Ingram's like he was in the first playing game, and you have no shot. If he's like that in the second play-in game, then you've got a relative shot. Like they play enough defense and they got enough rebounding to kind of hang around. The problem is the Thunder are incredible on offense and get pretty much every foul call you could ever want. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's really fucking good at basketball. So could be a terrible series. It could be a really fun series. I don't know what to think. I gotta digest game 1 before I say anything about
it. We gotta digest game 1 and then just talk for 3 minutes right before. That's beautiful. Shai in the playoffs, real deal. Like it feels like a real deal debut. Man, this is the youth is now, the future is now, old man. But actually playing out in real time, not only because Anthony Edwards actually said that to Kevin Durant, but because we're seeing it almost on every team where there's at least one young player that's could be maybe not necessarily a star, but definitely huge impact players. Tyrese, I think this is his first real postseason. Anthony Edwards, I know he played that one series against Memphis.
Is it the best series?
Was that a plan?
The Denver Nuggets. They played the champs the hardest. Was that them last season? Pat Bev.
I have the memory of a goldfish, but I remember Pat Bev for sure making the biggest deal out of directly that. Yes,
it was like the best. They were the best team to play the Denver Nuggets that season. Played them the hardest, and was it a 4-game sweep or were they losing 5? I can't remember. I think they lost in 5, but.
Okay, it's coming back now.
The jersey into the crowd. I wish Pat Bev was back on that team.
Please,
and
playing Pat
just in the backcourt, just being menaces. It'd be terrible. But yeah, welcome to the playoffs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams. You're gonna have a lot of fun. I think you're gonna be a lot of fun in the playoffs. Chet,
absolutely
rookie year into the playoffs, not a big deal. even though it's a fake rookie year, but it counts, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thunder.
Ben Simmons style.
And I hope that the Dallas Mavericks get to see him in round 2 because I have a good feeling about that one. But whatever. Got to get there first.
Talk to him.
Get there first.
Talk to him.
Got to get through round 1.
Yep.
I have a good feeling about round 2 if you can get there. You just got to get there. Yeah, playoffs, game 1s have been fun. I've been entertained even in the blowouts. So that's a good sign. If a blowout is entertaining, it's gonna be a good playoffs. I have a good feeling about this year. Something about it. Something crazy is gonna happen.
The NBA got Aura again. They just issued a lifetime ban. Like, the NBA is on its high horse right now, and I'm here for it. You're here for it. The viewers are here for it. Us at Apollo, we are head over heels for this NBA playoff season. Actually, we talked today, and I actually recently just found out that they're just not playing baseball anymore.
No, baseball hasn't started except for college baseball. Mississippi State is doing fairly well, so that's happening. But MLB hadn't started for some reason. I guess there's a lockout or COVID or.
That's weird. Maybe like July 4th, something like that. We'll know something by then.
Maybe late June they'll be like, "Oh, spring training's happening." That'd be good. That'd be fun. Baseball hadn't started yet at all, but somewhere
it's weird.
Commissioner Stern is just smiling down, watching Anthony Edwards just yell at Kevin Durant and call him old. He's just smiling. It's like, I once remember a young Michael Jordan doing this to the other people. Just reminds me of young Michael Jordan. He barks and he scores, and it's very fun, and he plays defense. He does all the things. But yeah, playoffs are here. I'm just excited. We're having a good time right now, even though I didn't have a good time watching basketball today, but for one game. Other than that, it's okay. It's round 1, game 1. A lot of basketball left. But we'll be back.
Oh, yeah, baby.
We'll record on Tuesday night and probably in the middle of some of the games to talk about game 2s. Preview a little bit of the rest of the series. We're going to move to 3 times a week. So Sunday night, Tuesday night, and probably Thursday night. We might mix that in a little bit different during the week, but 3 times a week during the playoffs for at least the first 2 rounds. And we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So, and just
baby.
It's going to be great. More basketball, more zero gravity. Who wouldn't want that,
You said it, brother.
Who wouldn't want that? But this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. Go check them out today if you're in the Houston area. They got great people, great beer, and great wings over at Big City Wings in the Houston area. And go check out PrizePicks. It's our daily fantasy sponsor. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit, and where you hit more or less on every stat, every player, every night, every game. NBA playoffs are in full swing. They've got all the stats. They have like demon stats and angel stats, so like they count for more if you take the demon stat, so it's a little bit harder of a stat where you have to hit more than. The angel ones are a little bit easier, but you get less money off of it. So, you kind of mess around with that on PrizePicks. It's a great time. We have our picks every day on the Apollo HOU Twitter and Instagram. Me and the boys are chefing up some stuff. I am not chefing up anything. I'm like 2-5. It is what it is. But yeah, go check out PrizePicks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. Get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. This has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.